Hello students, welcome back to my YouTube channel Civil Edu Next. Myself Maitri Dave, Assistant Professor at LJ Institute of Engineering and Technology. Today we are going to discuss about linear measurement. So let's start our first lecture for linear measurement. In today's lecture, we are going to describe basically three topics, in which the first topic is all about introduction of linear measurement. Second topic is all about the methods that we are going to use during linear measurement, and lastly we will discuss the instruments which are used for linear measurement. So without wasting much time, let's start our first topic, introduction of linear measurement. Here on screen you can see that different points are plotted, and while we connect that point we can calculate the area and volume of that particular area. But as I said earlier, without knowing the angles and distance, it is not possible. So here, the determination of distance between 2 points on the surface of the earth is called as linear measurement. It is required in chain surveying or traverse surveying or other type of surveyings, right? Now, let's start our second topic, which is linear measurement methods. So basically, various methods are used, but it is broadly divided into three types, in which first type is of direct method, second type is known as the optical method, and lastly it is known as the electronic method. In direct method, we are directly using chain or tape for length measurement. In optical methods, the principle of optics are used. It means tachymeter is used. And in last method, electronic method, it means electromagnetic distance measurements are considered. For example, total station are used for this kind of method. Now, let's discuss the direct method first, or we can say the approximate methods for calculation of length, right? So, in direct method, the first type is phasing. Here, what is phasing? So, the distance between 2 points can be calculated over here by counting the number of phases and multiplying it with the average phase length, right? Here on screen you can see the example how a one phase is calculated. So this is all about the phasing. Now the second method is the phasometer. It means a small instrument which is fixed to the legs of a person. It counts the number of phases the person has moved. The distance calculated is same as previous method. Next is the pedometer. It means the instrument directly gives the distance by multiplying the number of phases with the average phase length of the person carrying the instrument, right? Next is the fourth one, which is odometer. So generally an odometer is a simple device which can be attached to the wheel of a bicycle or any vehicle. The odometer registers the number of revolutions made by the wheel. The distance covered is equal to the products of the number of revolution and the perimeter of the wheel, right? Next is the speedometer. Generally it is used in automobiles for measuring the distance. It records speeds as well as the distances travelled by any vehicle. And lastly, it is a measuring wheel. Here you can see on screen, it is a wheel fitted with a fork on handle. The wheel is graduated and shows a distance as per the revolution. There is a dial which records the number of revolution. Thus the calculation can be easy for length measurement. So these all are the direct method or the approximate method that are used while we are going to calculate the distance, right? So these are the methods used for the distance measurement, right? Now, that's all for the linear measurement method for today's lecture. Now let's move to the last topic for today's lecture, which is instruments used for linear measurement. Basically, various instruments are used for linear measurement like chains, taps, arrows, pegs, plumber and ranging rods and offset rods. Now, these all instrument has their own importance while we go to the field for linear measurement, right? So let's understand all instruments in detail first. In which first is the chains. Basically, chains are used to measure distance between two main stations, right? It means whenever we are going to take longer distances, right, that at that time we are going to use these chains. Various types of chains are available based on different chain sizes. Like the first is known as the metric chain. Here on screen you can see a metric chain is shown. Here it consists of galvanized mild steel wire of 4 mm diameter, which is known as the link. Here you can see on screen that end of link are bent into a loop and connected together by means of 3 oval or circular rings, right? This is the example. Then the brass trellis are provided at every 5-meter interval of chain having different shape. That is again shown in this figure. It means number of links are very important while we want to calculate the actual distance using any chain. Here you can see on screen this example is for 20-meter chain as well as for 30-meter chain. It means two different sizes of chain contains two different sizes of links, right? So if I talk about a 20-meter chain, then a 20 centimeter distance is of a link for 20-meter chain. While for 30-meter chain, the distance of a link, which is the center to center distance of that circular ring, is 30 centimeter, right? It means I can count the links. So here I can say that 20-meter chain having 20 centimeters of link, it means 100 links are there. And 30-meter chain having 30 centimeter of link contains total 150 links. So that is all for this kind of metric chain. And please keep in mind, when we go to the field, majorly metric chains are used. Now let's discuss the second type, which is gunter's chain or surveyor's chain. As you can see on screen, it is a 66 feet long chain consists of 100 links each of 0.66 feet. It is suitable for taking length in miles and areas in acres. So here you can understand now that types of chain are based on the length of chain and the units in which we are measuring the distances, right? Next type of chain is the engineer's chain. As you can see on the screen, a 100 feet long chain generally consists of 100 links. It means each of 1 foot. It is suitable for taking length in feet and areas in square yards. Next type is the revenue chain. So here on screen you can see a 33 feet long chain consists of 16 links, which is suitable for taking length in feet and the inches for smaller areas. It is used for cadastral type of survey. And lastly, we will discuss about the steel band or a band chain. It means these are the more accurate than the other chains, but these got broken easily and difficult to repair in field. Generally, they are 20 and 30 meter long as well as 12 to 16 mm wide and 0.3 to 0.6 mm thick. So that's all for the different types of chain. Now you can select very wisely and precisely that which kind of chain you are going to take with you when you go for the linear measurement. If it is in meter and if it is for long distance, then you can go for the metric chain, right? So generally we prefer to go with the metric chain of 20 meter or 30 meter as per the requirement. Now let's discuss the second instrument, which is a tape. So the question arises that the chain and the tape both measures the distance, right? Then what is the difference between these two? So generally tapes are used when we want to measure distance in the smaller areas with more precision. And accordingly, based on material, different types of tapes are also available. So let's discuss different types of tape, in which first one is the cloth or linen tape. As shown in screen, it is made up of woven linen having 12 mm to 15 mm wide, varnish to resist moisture. Generally, they are flexible and light in weight. They are also available in lengths of 10 meter, 20 meter, 25 meter and 30 meter. Right? Now let's discuss the second type of tape, which is fiberglass tape. So generally they are quite flexible, strong and non-conductive. They used even in the vicinity of electrical equipments. They do not stretch or shrink due to changes in the temperature or moisture. That is the advantage. It is again available for 20 meter, 30 meter and 50 meters. Right? Next type of tape is the metallic tape. It means it is a linen tape reinforced with brass or copper wires. It is supplied in a leather case with a winding device. Nowadays we are using metallic tape because it is quite practical and durable. Next is the fourth type of tape, which is steel tape. As you can see, it is made of steel ribbon of width 6 to 16 mm. Length of 10 meter, 15 meter, 20 meter, 30 meter and 50 meter is also available. This is again a very good option while we want to measure distance with tapes. And last method for tape is the invert tape. They are generally made of alloy of nickel and steel, where nickel is of 36% and the steel is of 64%. By combining these two materials, the advantage over here is the coefficient of the thermal expansion is quite low. It means the effect of temperature is removed. So it is available in terms of 30 meter, 50 meter and 100 meter with 6 mm width. Again, it is used when high precision is required, right? So these are the different types of tape which are available, and we have to choose which kind of tape we should get for field survey. Now let's move to the another instrument that is used for linear measurement, which is an arrow. Then the question arises that how it's made up. Generally, it is made up of tempered steel wire of 4 mm diameter. Here on screen, you can see the one end of the arrow is bent into a ring and other is to be pointed. It means we can easily utilize it while we go to the field. The main purpose or the use of this arrow is to counting the number of chains while measuring the chain length. It means suppose you go to the field and your main station are station A and B, right? Generally, you have carried a 30 meter chain, but the original distance between station A and B is 50 meter. But when you reach over there, then when you unfold the chain and measure the distance, you found that station B is quite far now. At that time, what should you do? You have to collect another chain with you, or you can simply mark that station, the intermediate station, when the unfolded chain is located. So an arrow is playing a role to mark that particular position. So you don't have to carry number of chains with you, but it is easy to carry number of arrows because it is light in weight and easy to transport. So at that time, arrow plays an important role, right? So that is the concept, that how we can count the number of chain while measuring the chain line, right? Now, the next instrument for linear measurement is peg. So again, the question is same, that how it's made up. So generally it is made of timber or steel. So which kind of or which type of peg one should carry? So answer is, normally in normal condition we can carry a wooden peg or a timber peg because it is quite cheap and low in weight, so easy to handle. While when the soil strata is hard, at that time we can go for the steel type, right? Generally, wooden pegs are of 15 centimeter long and are driven into the ground with the help of hammer. Next is the use of peg. So generally, these pegs are used to mark the position of station or the terminal points of survey line. It means what? Say for the example, if I ask you to go to field to measure distance between point A and B, initially you go there. Then how you can mark that your main station points? For marking that main station point initially before starting or at the beginning of your field practical, you need pegs to mark the station points, right? It means the first thing you carry on field is to mark the position is the pegs. Then after you unfold the chain between these 2 points, and if required you use arrows. I hope you are connecting this thing, that if you have to go to field, how these instruments can be utilized, right? Now let's discuss the next instrument, which is a plumb bob. So basically the question is same, that how it's made up. So generally a plumb bob is the device which use maybe purpose made plumb bob lines or a simply makeshift devices made from a piece of a string and a weighted object such as a metal washer. Here you can see on screen how it's made up. But it is very important while we have to use it on field, because they are used to transfer points on the ground. Again, for fixing the instruments exactly over the station point, we are using plumb bobs. Again, it is used as centering aid in theodolite and plane table. So this is the basic concept of plumb bob, right? Now let's move to the last instrument, which is a ranging rod and offset, in which first discuss the ranging rod. Again, you can see on screen that how it's made up with. So generally it is painted with alternate bands of red and white colors with length of each equalizing 20 centimeter, and the total length of this ranging rod is normally 2 to 3 meter in length. These are used to range 2 points. Now imagine that once you go to the field and inserted the pegs, right, to mark your main station points. Then after you unfolded the chain. But as I said, if the distance between 2 points is quite high, right, or more, then at that time how you can identify where the next peg is exactly, because you have seen the size of peg is quite low. At that time, to identify or to make that 2 points in one range, you need a ranging rod. But again, the concept of ranging pole comes, because ranging pole is something when the length of the pole or the rod is 4 to 6 meter. So generally, due to curvature of earth, once you see your eyesight is reducing when the length is increased due to curvature of earth. If the length or the distance between 2 points is quite high, at that time to visualize that ranging rod, you have to keep its height quite high. It means from 2 to 3 meter, I have to go for the 4 to 6 meter. When this kind of height increment is there, this is known as the ranging pole. So these are the options available with respect to length that we should keep in mind while we go for the practical on field. Now what is the use? That is very clear in our mind for ranging some intermediate points on the survey line, right? So this is all about ranging road. But what about a offset road? So generally offset roads are also same as ranging road, but instead of a flag, a hook is provided, and its main use is to measure small offsets. Now what is offset, that we will discuss in next topics, right? Now this is all about the instrument used for the linear measurement like chain, tape, arrow, peg, plumb bob and ranging rod and offset rods. Now you have to keep all these instruments in mind because for calculation or for practical field work you have to utilize this kind of instruments. So first you have to understand that of which material it is made and how it is used on field during linear measurement, right? So this is all for today's lecture, in which we have discussed what is linear measurement is, what are the methods, like methods are of three types, and what are the instruments used for this kind of measurement. I hope you understand the basic concept of linear measurement, its various methods as well as instruments, because it is very important to explore linear measurement more in detail to understand these basic fundamentals. See you soon in the next lecture. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe my YouTube channel Civil Edu Next.